What happened to Swami Dhaval? This is a short podcast to let you know about Swami Dhaval. There is some good news and some bad news. The good news is the Swami has been promoted to Guru by the Aayyanist chamber. We all thank him for his efforts over the past few years in spreading the teachings of Aayyanism and also liaising with other Aayyanist groups around the world. He has done a tremendous service to the promotion of the worldwide Aayyanist movement and expanding it to the English-speaking community. The bad news is that, moving forward, Guru Dhaval will no longer have time to front the podcast or the YouTube channel. This is being left to the volunteers at the Aaiyyan World Foundation and junior members of the Aayyanist family. We hope that is okay with you all. Guru Dhaval will be still reachable from info@aayyan.org and is still supervising us at the Aaiyyan World Foundation, but he will be taking a more supervisory and advisory role. The work of a Guru-level Aayyanist is much more than that of a Swami level, so this is understandable to many Aayyanists. It was also thought by many high Aayyanists that having a front figure for Aayyanism would actually be a very negative and egotistical act. Aayyanism is not about any one individual, but more about a community of people and ideas, and we did not want Guru Dhaval to be the face of Aayyanism. Guru Dhaval was also conscious of this, and also did not want to become the central figurehead or spiritual leader. In the last few months, Guru Dhaval has been receiving many emails from people wishing to treat him as their personal guru or leader, when in fact Aayyanism is more about vocation, and people discovering the truth for themselves. The spiritual leader is yourself, and always has been. Guru Dhaval stated that he would prefer to counsel and advise people, but not become a spiritual leader. His wish is to learn from others as well as find common ground in the spiritual experience. He does not wish to sit in front of a crowd of people and lecture. He prefers to sit together, side by side, and share in the wealth of spirituality in a mutually understanding way. So with this in mind, we will change the format of the podcast. There will be no central figure or lecturer speaking to you directly from the screen, but we will narrate the teachings of Aayyanism with maybe some imagery that lends weight to the arguments. We do not wish for the next front figure of this podcast to be elevated as a higher being. The higher being is yourself. As we have stated many times during the numerous podcasts and lectures, the reason you are listening to this message now is because you yourself were an Aayyanist in a previous incarnation, or were already a very spiritualized being from the many incarnations that you have existed in. It is you who are the teacher. We are simply making you remember and understand the knowledge you already possess. If we say something that does not link with your own spiritual thoughts, this is your karmic memory coming to the forefront. There are many schools of Aayyanist thought, and each one may differ greatly from the next. There are tantric negative schools, or positive Atmani schools, and various schools in between these philosophies. If we have one person or many people presenting this podcast, you may find that you disagree with the message due to the particular school of thought the Aayyanist on screen was presenting. We want to avoid this, and give a holistic approach to our teachings. So going forward, we will present a more wider field of study than what was previously presented. This will be vetted by the wider Aayyanist community also, to avoid any calls of sectarianism. We will also try to produce more podcasts and teachings more consistently and frequently, so please do subscribe to hear more. We thank Guru Dhaval for his efforts in the past, and look forward to working with you all, our listeners, in the future.